Okay, I'm going to get started today. We have kind of a full day, so I want to get going uh, here. Just a quick announcement. I posted this in an email and also in the Brightspace announcements here. DigiKey, which is one of our larger employers in northern Minnesota, is going to be on campus. One of the few employers that come to campus just to recruit computer students and math students off sometimes, but they'll be on campus on Tuesday at noon. Um, I know that might, if you're a first year student, that might conflict with your Dignitas class. So we'll have to see. I think those are still noon on Tuesdays. But they'll be here. If you're available, then you should. It's a nice place just to go and visit and learn about DigiKey. They host a big programming contest in a month or so, and we'll be sending out information about that. They also, yeah, and they recruit and summer interns and hire a lot of our students there. They have a cool, huge factory. It's one of these. They're up in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Um, yeah, and it's one of these secret places that a lot of people just don't know about. They run a huge warehouse. Over the last 10 years, they've been converting it. Well, they built a whole new warehouse. It's all run by robots now and stuff like that up there. You can order any sort of electronics from them, and they tend to promise to ship it out the door within like 15 minutes there from your order being finalized. Uh, they make Fargo one of the biggest or busiest UPS airports in the world just because of that one company up there. So if you're not heard of them, you probably will over time here. But this is just the first opportunity you have to interact with them, and it involves free pizza. Uh, Also, I will be sharing internship opportunities in this class, although generally those are for like second and third year students. But again, some of you might be our second year students, and you might be sitting, and even freshmen, first year students sometimes work on internships and get internships and that sort of stuff. All computer majors, CIS majors, or computer science majors are required to do an internship while they're here. Or a research opportunity while they're here that counts towards internship. So and I coordinate them, so I share a lot of the stuff for internships. Even if you're not looking to do internships yet, it is good to look at and start being aware of the different companies and stuff like that where internships available, particularly if there's an internship or a company where something you have a connection with or about. So what I would like to point out is the help desk is hiring student workers, and that is something a lot of first year students do. So if you want to start getting some experience, you can just sign up as a student worker to work at the computer help desk, which is a great opportunity. So that's linked in here for this. So, okay, enough of that for now. So we're going to do a couple things today. The first thing we're going to do is an activity. So I want you to go, and we'll break you in pairs in just a sec. I think we'll go to Unit 1 and go to the learning materials. Under Unit 1, learning materials. And there's an activity here. It says, we'll do this in pairs on Friday. And so we're going to do this in pairs. Now, online students, you can just do this anytime you want. Now, this is not something you have to turn in. It's just a fun, well, I think it's fun. You might not agree. It's a fun activity that we're just going to do to learn about print statements here. So I'm just going to open it up, make a copy of it. And we'll have you do the same thing here. Or I'm going to break you in pairs. And then so one of you you can be at one computer or something like that and just create one copy of this document. And if you hit share, you can just type in the other person's email address and share it with another person here. So then you can both have access to it. This is a nice thing to review, like, when you're reviewing for the course at some point. So the idea is that there's a statement here, and you have to guess what it prints out and then write the actual printout statement. So what we want to do is get you used to using NetBeans So I'm going to run NetBeans here. So I've got it linked in here, but if you don't, you can just type in NetBeans or Apache here and run it. And again, I suggest we'll run it all the time. So I suggest you just right click and pin it to your bottom list there. And again, mine's opening up my first program from yesterday, but again, I can create a new one. So I'm actually going to do a new project just to show you. So again, when we do projects, we always do new project. It should remember that we do Java Ant projects and a Java application. So you should be able to just hit next here. And then just give it some name. So unit 1, Vogel. Printing. Oh, you can name it whatever you want here and hit finish. And it should open this up for you here. And then again, you're gonna guess what the output is. Then you're gonna take this statement, put it in the actual program where it says to do code the application here. And then you can run it. And then you can see what the actual printout is going to be here and see if it matches. So the first one isn't too hard. So let's do this. We're going to do this in pairs. We'll do this with pairs nearby us, I think. So you see if you get to know. So why don't we have YouTube? And let me check on names here. So we got Jesse and Caleb. All right. Emmanuel, Sydney, David, and Dylan. All right. Ryder, I know. You know? Okay. Again. You know. Okay. And Kyle is already. Right. Okay. Yeah. You're that. Okay. So you two work together, right? Or you work on your own for now and see. I thought Sophie was going to be here, so that sometimes she runs late in her chair. So if she shows up, we'll pair you with Sophie. Okay? So again, just walk through this, see how many you can. Again, you don't have to turn this in. It's just for fun. Yeah. Right, no problem. We're doing pairs and you're paired up with Ryder there, so. Oh, first, yeah. Pause the recording for now while the students are working on this. Okay, so now the class is working on the learning activity here. For the learning activity, we're going to try to do this little robot activity and algorithms. And there's a walkthrough here also. You have a robot and it starts in a square building with lots of little rooms and doors. And you can check if there's a door to the left, right. I mean, we generally will say north, south, east, or west here. And then you can also go north, south, east, or west. So you can check if there's a door to the north, or you could try to go north. And again, there is a door like to the east here. So those are the activities. And then your robot can also do basic math. So assume like the robot has a piece of paper, a little bit of memory where it can remember a couple numbers. You know what variables are, you could think of it as, holding numbers in a variable there. Now this is like a classic maze problem we do in CS principles, where we have a bird trying to get to where a pig is there. And we can, again, move things around because they move forward, turn left, move forward, things like that. And we can run this. And then the robot the bird will go forward, turn, and stop. And it stays. Now, in this thing, they can't check. It runs into things, so it's not the best. So we can actually do a little more advanced algorithms here because we can check if it's open to the left and to the right here for this. And you start with a simple square. You want to work out an algorithm for that. And then you want it to work on any size square. Will it work on a 1x1 square or building, a 1,000 by 1,000 room building here? And then you also want to try to make it as optimal as possible. If you remember the maze problem from CS principles, I think it's this one. There are some of the challenges where you had to do it in a certain number of steps here. You're limited here to 4 blocks or something like that. So the question is can you save fuel on the robot and find an efficient way of doing this? There's a little grid worksheet here that shows you. So like here's the first room here and stuff. Here's a 1x1 room. Here's a 2x2 room, 4x4 room. Later on, we'll try to do rectangles. We'll look at a rectangle where you start in the upper left-hand corner. And then for part 2, that's that. And for part 3 is a rectangular room where you start anywhere in the building, in any of the rooms there. And then for the 4th part, you start in just an arbitrary sized maze. And can you count how many spaces are in that maze for that? That gets really hard. So see if you can try these out and see how far you get here. As an example, here's a simple one. Let's say we're in this maze here. If there's a door to the south, then go south. So then the robot moves south. And then if there's a door to the south, then go south. There isn't. So then we're in a 4x4 grid. So, and so that's what this is kind of, writing out. But it won't work for a 9x9 grid. So maybe we could add some more lines here. Where we then check if we're not in a 4x4 grid, we check if there's a door to the south and then go south again. And then, but if not, we know it's 9x9 grid. So there we could be up here. Go check if there's a door. If so, go south. Check if there's a door. If so, go south. Check if there's a door. If there isn't, we're in a 9x9 grid. But again, this is not going to work like for a 1x1 grid. It won't work for a 4x4 grid. So can you write this in a more generic sense where you could work on this and maybe you repeat the same steps again and again, or keep doing something until something is true, something like that. And then what your job is, you can try these out and then write these down. But what you have to submit is for the discussions. You want to submit in the a discussion that outlines this. So students should be submitting stuff. Let's see if we have anyone everyone's just doing their intro posts so far. Oh, here. Still intro post. So you should be doing introduction post here, but also part 2, you should be posting something, one of your algorithms, post an answer for this shouldn't say only the 4 parts, it'll say one of the 4 parts, sorry, one of the 4 parts of the learning activity. So again, you don't have to do the hardest you can do. If you just want to post a solution to the first one or the second one, you can do that. And just make a posting about that. And you should be able to see other people's posting. It's kind of fun to see different pseudocode or language, the way people approach this. There's no right way of doing this necessarily. So. One quick note on this algorithms problem, something you might want to try to think about, we get kind of into writing if, then, or branch statements. And that's the example, if there's a door, then do this, otherwise or else, maybe do that. And you can certainly write code like that. Another thing, couple things you could think about is, maybe you could repeat or loop or check on something. So do something until this is true, or, while this, and again, we'll see language like that in Java. We'll use statements like while or until, but you can write it out in English. You can say, repeat this until this is true, or do this while this is true. You can write, things like that. So it keeps doing the same thing over and over again. So think of that there. You can also maybe jump to different locations. Like if this is true, then jump to, instruction and maybe have some marker on it or whatever, or section 2 down below or something like that. So think of other ways you could maybe set up your algorithm so that you can jump around or you can repeat sections. All that stuff is perfectly fine here. Okay. You could have Okay, I'm going to interrupt and we're going to kind of wrap some things up here. So again, it's okay if you didn't get all the parts done in this learning activity. See how far you get. The last part, the counting the number of rooms in an arbitrary maze, is very difficult and requires some like complex algorithms. So it's a good challenge for you to start thinking about that and how you do that. It helps if you give yourself the ability to mark maybe on the rooms that you've been, like, maybe we're giving you some chalk and you can maybe mark on stuff. But think about that. Can you do it and how would you do it? And do you need any other things? Remember, you want to post something to the discussion area for an algorithm here. Even though you're working in pairs in class, each of you have to post an algorithm. When I grade this, and that's just to make my life easier, because I don't know if you know this, but one of your goals is to make my life easier there. So when I grade, if I click on something, the grader will bring up like your name and all your posts there. So your partner posts for the both of you, I won't see it under you. So it's easiest if you both post something. You can both post the same algorithm, or like if you post, what your solution for number 1 is, and the other person posts the solution for number 3, that's fine too there. So just post something there for part 2 of this area. So just post one of the algorithms you have. And it's kind of fun to see then how everybody writes the different algorithms and what kind of language or ideas they have for running them. So the last thing you have to do this weekend is the assignment. You have to make a program that prints, all we know how to do is print out a bunch of stuff here. So you have to print out stuff here. You can do a couple things. You can print out the lyrics of your song, so you can go find your favorite song, grab the lyrics out there, and then just do a bunch of print statements. So print line, I'm not throwing away, and then the next print line, my shot, and print out that. Now this is a long song. I don't expect you to do the whole song, obviously, here. So if you do, I would say, maybe a verse, like here, I could do 3 lines here and 5 lines here. That would be plenty. And then you kind of replicate this a little bit. I mean, there. The other thing is to do some ASCII art here and print that out. And again, you can use AI as an assistant here. We want you to learn print statements, but sometimes it's that there. So, I asked ASCII, ChatGPT, to create some ASCII art, and it did a really bad job. This was supposed to be a canoe. I don't know. That doesn't look like a canoe to me. This is tent. It looks more like a tree than tent, but it has two legs. I don't know what it's thinking there. It's not great at graphics there. So then I was more specific. I asked it to try to print out a cat or a rabbit, and that's an okay cat, I would say. And it's a small size stuff, so that would be a. So you want to maybe do something like that. Now, I grew up in an era where we didn't have screens very good. So we did a lot of ASCII art. So I was very cool in college. I was one of the cool people in college. And so I had a printout of Spock that was about 4 feet by 4 feet in my college dorm room there. Because again, all we had was printers back then. So, but I don't expect you to do Spock in this class for that. But just do something. So again, do some printouts here, either of some simple ASCII art or a lyrics to a song or a poem or something like that. So, and submit that here. Now, for submitting here, there's a couple ways of doing it. One is you can submit the whole folder here, and that's, so if I have this folder here for this, I can go here and find that it's in documents, NetBeans projects, and here's my like program here. I could zip this up. So I'm going to compress it to a zip file here, and then I can submit that, attach that. So when you go in here and you want to submit it, I'm in instructor mode, so I can't submit it. I could attach that zip file there. You can try it. If nothing else, you can just grab your code and paste it for that in the comments. Later on, we'll require you to do some more of this zip. But again, this is a suggested way, but for the first assignment or two, I'm fine if any way you can get me the code submitted. Okay, so don't feel that you have to do it this way if you can't figure it out. And again, everything is due Sunday night by midnight. Okay, questions? All right, we'll see you on Monday.